Good morning. Today I thought I would do a reading from our daily Om. These readings are a little longer, but they give you a little bit more to chew on, as you would say. You can lie down for this reading, or you could sit cross-legged. I'm going to get comfortable. Today's reading is over and over again, having the same experience. Some people call that deja vu. We talk about samskars a lot in yoga, so the idea that something's happening over and over. Maybe we consciously do it because it's comforting, or maybe it's a subconscious. There may be times in our lives when it seems as if we keep having the same kinds of experiences. The situation or the people involved may be different each time. Yet one encounter may feel exactly like the last and the one before that. Perhaps we've left a job where we were unhappy and we find ourselves facing a similar situation in our current position. A relationship with a new partner might start to seem a lot like an old one. This is a big one for us. And the problems resemble those that we left behind. They just keep repeating themselves. But we're the commonality. We may feel disappointed or frustrated and wonder why the same situations and people keep showing up in our lives. The truth is that the identical experiences do not keep happening to us. After all, the circumstances and the individuals involved are always different, but we simply keep having the same kind of experience. Subconsciously, there's a great value to be had in going through life in the same way until we are ready to have different experiences. And if that means taking a piece of paper and making a list of commonalities, maybe in your last 2 unsuccessful relationships or jobs or friendships that aren't flowing easily with you, perhaps we feel unworthy of happiness or worry that we cannot get a break. Our lives tend to reflect what we believe about them. After all, most of us do not like to be proven wrong. We may even derive satisfaction in being right or gain a sense of safety every time we confirm to ourselves that we know the way the world works. It is comforting in a weird way. We may choose a relationship partner who's very different from our last significant other and hope that this time love will turn out differently. Despite this, as long as we hold the beliefs that restrict the good we can experience in our relationships, we will create the identical dynamic of limited happiness with any partner. We're the commonality. We bring ourselves and our beliefs to every situation. If we can figure out which of these convictions no longer serves us, we can consciously change them, make fresh choices, and start having new experiences that are in line with what we want in life. What I've noticed about that is sometimes it takes being open to hearing from your friends or family that they can see with fresh eyes from the outside, maybe patterns that you can't see. So be open to those patterns. I struggle with this too. It is kind of fun actually to pick something that maybe is a challenge for you, and why not have a brainstorm night with a couple of your friends or family. It could be Zoom, it could be in person, it could be outside, it could be inside, and it could be over food or alcohol or not. I had some requests to stretch out legs today. A few of you have very challenging day jobs that involve sitting for long periods of time. So if we did some things with our quads, we often do focus on hamstrings, but today we'll maybe look at the whole leg. I do recommend if you have a book or a block, we use that sometimes. And even if you have some foot challenges, I encourage you to try to do some of the ankle work that we're going to do, because it is all interconnected, that foot, ankle, thigh, calf, hip mobility. Every time I have a tight lower back and I go to the massage therapist thinking it's my back or my neck, she always says it's the tightness in your legs. And I wonder if this comes from sitting. Doesn't matter how we're sitting at a right angle. Where in nature would an animal sit at a right angle? So, without further ado, let's go to the mat and we'll do some of our lower back work on the floor, but we also have a lot of chance to do leg work when we're on the floor. So, coming onto my back, I'm going to come just as we do each time, thinking about how important the spine is, bummed heels, and slowly lower down. Have your strap nearby so that we can helpfully fix the work of our legs. And the first piece I do want to focus on is quad stretch. The simplest one I do is drawing thigh to chest. If this is a knee issue, you know I'm going to always tell you, come behind the thigh and pull it in. And what I like about keeping one leg bent when I'm doing this is that I take away the hip piece and I'm really just stretching the quad. Now, in my body, this feels easy because I have loose hips. Not everyone loves this. You might interlace your hands on the shin to make it a little deeper. So now I've gone as far as I can go in my joints here. I'm going to slide the left leg straight, and right away I notice that tension from hip flexor, inner thigh, down the quad, attaching into the knee and out to my ankle. Excuse me. Here's where I want to really stretch the whole front line of the body. And see what's happening in that hip. Maybe point and flex. When I point, I'm lengthening the front line of that leg. And when I flex, I'm engaging. I want to squeeze the bum. So let's do that alternating back and forth, that same sensation. Toes point, lengthening the quad, stretching the hamstring, stretching the hips. And then flex, clench your bum at the same time. Engage that whole left side. Actually, can you levitate it off the floor 1 inch? So it's all engaged, and then point, it's allowed to come to the mat, and then flex, hover. Point, come to the mat, flex, hover. Point, come to the mat, flex, hover. While you're hovering, can you lift it another inch? Whoa! While you're keeping it flexed, this is a lot of work. I can feel this quad super turned on. While I'm here, let's add the core piece for my core friends. So I'm going to flex both feet, bring my belly to my thighs, staring at my right toes, coming as high as I can, and lower back down, but don't touch. Inhale up, keep that quad engaged, the glute engaged, everything's engaged. Should be some heat and fire building in your muscles. Come back down, and one more time. Coming up to that piece where you meet the thigh to knee, look at the toes, hover, but for a moment, close your eyes. Notice all that intensity drawing to the center of your pelvis. This is our root chakra. Some would say it's where we began our lives, and it's where our power is. And then exhale, lower everything down, soften. I'm going to take 2 more breaths in single leg wind relieving pose without a lot of muscular effort. Can you soften inside this form? And we have 2 different experiences when we engage things and make it intense. Actually, I would say we have 3. Engage, intense, draw to center, point, stretch, lengthen, elongate, and then soften in the same shape without any effort. Finally, left hand takes right knee over, single leg spinal twist. Oh, yeah. And again, you have a choice. Soft and pull it over, so I'm stretching out the right side of my body, my glutes, my lower back, my thighs, almost like half a fetal position. Or flex, coming to a right angle. Super intense in my glutes and my thigh. Even more intense, I'm going to take my arms to a T and stretch that leg, hover. Squeezing everything to center. Let's try to fire up that place where we began our lives. And then the main version to come out, flex, and come out slow and controlled. Oh, while we're here, can we open out? Keep it flexed, squeeze the center. And what's your range of motion opening out the opposite way without tipping the left side? Oh, my hip just cracked. No hands. Back to center. Let's, for fun, take it all the way over one more time. This is fun, exploring our range of motion while keeping it engaged. All the way over, there's a nice good spinal twist. Back to the sky. Keep it all flexed and engaged. And how wide can you comfortably open within your range of motion? Let's do it. Oh, that feels so good. I'm going to do it a couple more times. All engaged. So it's definitely not as big as you might be expecting. We're not relying on our hands, the strap. And can you bring it all the way over? There's a belly and back twist. Back to center. Thighs to chest. Little boat. Okay, feet to the mat, just like we began, constructive rest. Let's pause and take 2 breaths. In the Shivananda format of yoga or study, you would take a Shavasana between every single pose. Almost that resting piece before your body preps to come to the expression again. Now I'm going to bring my left leg in tight. First I'll start behind the thigh. Keep the right knee bent, so this is more effortless. In this pose, I'm able to fully press my lower back and the place behind my heart into the floor. Let's take 2 more breaths, pulling as tight as I can. Some of you may add the hands on the shin, depending on your mobility, and your knees. Now I'm going to slide right leg straight. And here's we're going to experience all 3 versions. So first, I'm soft and relaxed. Don't even have to compress on it. Maybe I'll even come behind the thigh. Let's take 2 breaths soft without engagement. And what I love about my yoga practice in my physical body is that I don't need a ton of equipment or a fancy treadmill or anything to do the work that I would like to see in my body to become more familiar with my limitations and my range of motion, or to actualize my best. So maybe I want more muscles to support my hips and my shoulders. That's going to help my life in general. It's not a vanity thing. Now we've finished our relaxed soft version. Let's pull that left thigh in as deeply as you can, flex both feet and hover. Relax it and point. Flex and hover, levitate maybe an inch off the mat, point, stretch, pull it in, oh yeah. And then flex and hover, point and relax, flex and hover. Oh, you feel that heat building in the right quad? Point, flex and hover. While I'm hovering, let's join chest to thigh and look at your toes. Hover, exhale down, but don't touch the earth, so my head and my heel are levitating. Inhale up, squeeze your bum to center. Exhale, hover. Up, squeeze to center. One last time. Exhale, hover. And let's do it one more time. Inhale up, squeeze, lower all the way down. Right hand's gonna take left knee over. Let's do our 3 variations here. Pulling it in nice and tight. That's a deep hip and glute stretch. As I turn, now I'm going to flex my knee at a right angle. Foot is flexed, so the ankle's at a right angle, the knee's at a right angle, the hips at a right angle. And can you take it the final version? Straighten that leg out. Not everyone's going to be comfortable doing this. Flex. Engage your glutes. You're squeezing your thighs and bum to center. Thighs and quads are turned on. Feet are flexed. And now can we come up to the sky? And slowly open. The side's going to be different in my body. Back to the sky. Squeeze your bum to center. Open. Back to the sky. And open. Back to the sky. Squeeze to center. Across the midline towards the right side. Deep spinal twist. We're slowly wringing out our belly. And last time to the sky. Open within your natural range of motion while still staying engaged. Back to the sky. And thighs to chest. Little boat, drawing everything back to center. Or circles. And now today we're doing it kind of backwards. We're going to do double leg spinal twist, knees to the floor on the left, right arm open to a T. Can you bring that shoulder to the floor? If you can't, you're going to take your strap or blocks or folded blanket between your knees and then open the shoulder. Take a moment. Line up your bones in this shape. So when I think about lining up bones, I think of when you open a book and the spine is holding the pages together. I think about lining up some dominoes in a correct shape to sustain that pose without falling over. And then let's look to the right hand, all the way over, and then to center. And I'm going to look to the left hand, all the way to center. Then look to the right hand. It's good for our neck. Press the nails of both hands active into the floor. Head to center. Look to the left hand. Head to center, and last time, look to the right hand. Can you almost bring that right ear to the mat? And back to center, little boat or circles. Of course, we want to visit the other side. And when I take my body or bones to the other side of a pose, I want to notice the difference. And actually, this came up in a discussion yesterday. Totally unrelated, but similar. When we were raised to deal with race or color, we were told that whites were told, we all look the same, I don't see color. And I'm learning that that's actually just as cruel as fixating on color. Instead saying, isn't that amazing that we have so many beautiful nuances and colors as humans? I heard we have the most biodiversity of any species, and that's what makes us beautiful. How boring if we all were the same shade, same nose, same eyes, same lips, same hair texture, same height, same gender. Ugh, we'd be aphids. So we're going to add the neck piece in. My arms are to a T, palms turned up. I'm going to turn and look to that left hand. Close your eyes. Oh, what do you notice in your body or your back or your hip on this side? And back to center. Head looks to the right. And back to center. Head looks to the left. This side is much tighter for me. And back to center. Head looks to the right. And back to center. And then look to the left. Back to center. Let's come all the way back to the middle. Hug your knees and release your lower back. And rocking side to side, little boat or circles. Taking my feet to the air, I want to give my legs a little love. It's one of my favorite parts of our practice. I'm going to start to massage the calves. They're not pointed or flexed, they're just relaxed. One of my teachers used to call it a floint, when you would flex your toes and press the ball of the feet to the sky. Kind of a hybrid. Now I'm going to squeeze and release my thigh meat. Up and down your legs. Look at how amazing your legs are. Solid muscle. No matter how soft the rest of my body gets, I can count on the solidness of my legs. And I'm going to start to roll out my ankles here. Because remember that interconnectivity, ankle rolling ultimately helps my hip mobility. And then maybe you can even isolate your toes so that the isolation of the toes then leads to the ankle, which leads to the hip, which helps your lower back. So maybe close your eyes. Can you take 5 breath rounds, isolating each or articulating each toe and the ankles, noticing the cracks in the ease or the dis-ease. Look for the surrender within each body part, as well as the hesitancy and the resistance. That contrast. I can make fists and spread, fists and spread. Noticing that this action in my feet resonates all the way down into my other half of my body. What if our practice every day was just to reconnect ourselves with our body parts the way a baby does in a crib? The first time they notice they have hands and they can put feet in their mouth. The awe they have in such a simple action. Okay, my ankles have had enough. I'm going to let the legs fall wide and check in with my inner thighs and hip where they connect. Was that easy to open up or was there resistance? So I'm going to help it, giving it a little massage. Keep noticing that dance within your body. Surrender and resistance. Surrender and resistance. Can you use your breath to nudge this open a little further? Arms are wide. Everything's relaxed and gravity's going to do its work. And then let's close the legs without activating anything. There's a different experience. So I'm going to bring my right leg in the air, flex the left foot lower. Let's do this all without straps. So that's going to use more muscular engagement, quad effort, which has been a request for some of you. Flex the right foot, flex the left foot. Engage the core, pressing the back into the floor. And let's open that leg out as wide as it feels comfortable, slow and controlled. Left hip is grounded to the right.
And I'm gonna pause there for 2 breaths. Inhale 1. Exhale, keep squeezing the bum and thighs to center. Inhale 2. Exhale. And then back to the sky. We did this earlier, but this time it's slower, more mindful. Leg across the midline, flex, or take it all the way over. And back to center, thighs to chest, little bow. Other side, flex, right leg lowers out of the way. Flex, let's open that left leg as wide as it feels good out to the side. Two more breaths. Take that leg up to the sky, across the midline. And back to center. Thighs to chest, a little boat. I'm going to take hands to knees and pulling those knees as wide as it feels good for a moment. We'll pause here. Ankles are dangling. Patanjali's yoga asks you to find sweetness in any pose. So when you've made the shape, and you can still be soft and strong at the same time, so you've got the stable shape, but it's not killing you, that's the perfect pose. So is this my perfect happy baby today? Or is this my perfect happy baby today? Or is fully making the bind and making the shape that I think it should look like, because of a picture, is that the perfect shape today? Soles together. Pause here for a moment. And finally releasing our feet to the mat, reclined cobbler. Let's take breath, take our palms and place them on our abdomen. If you're a female, this would be the first place of where life is created inside your body. And just feel the heat. Not even if it was, you don't have to have had a child yourself, but you have the life force potential in your body. And I'm going to take it to my belly, a place where all the chemistry happens in my body that helps all these functions work. Without this chemistry, I wouldn't be alive. Smile. Thank you, stomach, for all that you do for us. And then hands on my heart, the place where, yes, it physically keeps me alive, but where I'm going to say my emotions that make you the person that you are come from. Figuratively. And then hands on our forehead. Let's take a breath here. All this intelligence, some of it is animal instinct and some of it is from our smartness, our independent finance, actually our actual independence in our brain. Smile, being thankful for this amazing brain that knows what to do even when we're walking through life in a fog and we don't think we know what to do. And back to cactus. Smile. And then bring it all back together, coming into that tiny little ball, little boat. Help yourself roll onto your side. We'll take a little breath here. And then slowly pressing yourself upright, coming into extended child's pose. Forehead down, lengthen that spine. Find a place that's so juicy for you in this pose. If this pose is not juicy for you, you're going to come into a modified child's pose. Find what works for you. And then upright, we'll do a quick cat-cow. Palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to press my bum in the air and then slowly drop my tail. How does your lower back feel today? Bum in the air and then lower your tail. Back and forth a few times. Tuck your toes and walk to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Bend the knees so that you can have the most successful forward fold. Let your head go. Maybe sway a little, gorilla. And then arms to the side, rise. Reach up, lengthen. Exhale, fold, swan dive. Half back, fold, plant. Come onto your knees, heart to the floor. Let's do this stick pose. So we don't do this one very often. My toes are tucked, palms beside your chest. It looks like sleeping cobra. But guess what? You can be so active that my thighs aren't on the floor. My glutes are engaged. Oh! And I'm pressing my heels to the opposite wall behind me. If this hurts your your toes, just come into sleeping cobra. So it's almost like a chaturanga, but I'm not making you, or a low half plank, but I'm not making you lift your body weight. 2 breaths here, active quads. Feel it on my knees. And then untuck your feet, baby cobra. Press back, downward dog. Pedal your dog. Can you bend one knee so much that you can fully get the other heel to the floor? And that's going to be a calf stretch. And then alternate. Other foot to the floor, bend the other knee so this is successful for you. Back and forth. And then right foot forward, left knee back, low lunge. So choosing to stay here or a little higher. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. Let's do that one more time on this side. Inhaling up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, plant, however you want to get down. Tuck your toes. Remember, we're stick pose. Press the heels away from you. So feel your active quads lifting off the mat. Shoulders pull back, opening the heart. One more breath. Untuck. Pick up your head, baby cobra. Press back, dog. Pedal your feet. Left foot forward, right knee drops, low lunge. Hands to the sky, choosing to stay here or tuck and rise. There's that right quad awakening. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, plant, hop, lower, sleeping cobra, 1 breath. Choosing the next cobra, so it can be baby cobra or up dog. Roll over the toes, down dog. Right foot forward, left foot back, high lunge. Balance pose, but a strong quad requirement. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. One more side, let's do it. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Half back, fold, plant, and hop and lower. Whatever that looks like. Sleeping cobra, 1 breath. Pick up your head, baby cobra. Press back, dog. Left foot forward, right foot back, rise. Hands release, feet together, fold, rise, heart center. So, quickie quad stretch unfortunately involves your knees. So I know some of you, that's not your favorite body part. If you're capable of this in your ankles and knees, I'm sitting literally in thunderbolt on my knees. The more I lean back, keeping those thighs together, knees and the tops of my feet root down. So I might come into awkward hands. Oh, keep those knees rooting down. Option to take your hands behind you. Press the knees down, pelvis to the sky. Huge quad stretch. But guess what? It's also a beautiful heart opener. I'm going to not drop my head all the way back. I'm looking at the ceiling. Squeeze the thighs together, knees root down. This is so intense, but awesome. And then coming all the way back down. Another quad stretch. We won't do full bow, but is to come onto your belly. Bend your knees. And I'm going to put my forehead to the mat, grabbing my feet. I might lift my head, I might leave my head. I might even release one and only bring one heel to bum. I know my chiropractor or massage therapist likes to do this one. And then the other one. Try to grab your foot or the ankle
You're trying to bring that heel towards the bum. Some of us have the mobility that it's going to happen. Some of us it's over here. It's okay. You could also tie your strap around the foot. And then guess what? Once more, come back, upright, knees together, hands back. So I can keep coming back to that. The other one I love to do, you all seem to love this one. I'm going to take a book or a block, coming on my side, ankles are stacked, hips, knees, upper body, and I take my hand to support my head. Left hand is in front. So I'm on my right side first. You can do whatever side you want. I'm going to do this without a block first so I can flex. And some people do this with a resistance band. You can use your own natural resistance. I could add a block or a book or something light that you don't want to fall off as long as it doesn't hurt you. And I'm resisting myself. The nice thing about the block is it saves me from doing this. Look, everyone's like, I can do this. I'm like, no, no, no. You just externally rotated your hip. I want you to keep both ankles and feet forwards. So I've got a slight internal rotation of this hip. Flex, and how high can I go usually depends for me on this IT band on the outer left leg. I can feel it moving, 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 and then I hit my edge, that's it. I can feel my quad turned on, inner thigh, outer thigh. This might feel amazing. Now, some of you may stay upright, not move, keep it flexed. Some of you might see your range of motion coming forward without moving anything else, and then back. Now this is the hard part for me, is to keep my hips stable while I'm moving back. So now my range of motion, being honest, isn't very far back, but I can go far forward. That's one variation. Some of you might just go up and down, whoo, and then side child's pose. Now sometimes we'll do another variation. I'll bring my left foot in front, flex the right foot. This is a huge hip stretch too. And can I lift that inner leg flexed without contorting my body, or maybe even put a block on the inner arch of the foot. And then release. And the last one, and well, we do this one often, pretending that these legs are like chopsticks holding a really precious dumpling between my feet. Can I lift, flex, engage? I feel my whole lower half of my body, my core turn on to do this, and then down. Then I'm going to throw alignment to the wind and lift this leg up. Look, I naturally want to externally rotate to be able to grab my toe. Some of us are going to grab our inner thigh. Some of us, this is too tight. Hypermobile people, I know you crave this. And as my teacher says, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And then side child's pose. Up to the other side. We always want both sides. We're looking for balance, body, mind, spirit, as well as balance or somewhat balance on both sides. They're never going to be identical. That is the hardest thing to grasp, I would think, in a flexible body, is that my life, my birth, my biology, my life, my environment, those things have created imbalance on both sides of my body. They're not fully symmetrical. Other side, flex. And see what your natural range of motion is without the cautious block. Then to keep it more mindful, I'm going to throw that block on there. Whew. And instantly I have to slow it down and go within. This is more honest, so flex. And I might come forward and back, but I can feel my body cheating. Forward and back, so that's one variation. The other one was up and down. The other one was both. Where's my dumpling? Squeeze those glutes to center, squeeze the thighs together. Everything's squeezing the center, and then release. And now I get to throw alignment to the wind and grab my whatever. So maybe I'm going to grab my thigh, maybe I'm going to grab my heel. Everyone's going to be a different version. Hand to toe. I'm drawing a blank on the Sanskrit name, but it's one of my favorite. You'll see it in pictures of scholars sitting here with their hand or toe. And then side child's pose. Last one, the gate or the
the gate. One of my favorites, so beautiful. I'm gonna take a block beside me, or an apple juice can, or a book. Coming on my knees, if you're able to stand on your knees. Left foot out. My block is here so I don't dump into my joints. I want to stabilize pelvis, especially if you have loose pelvis, which I think my quad type friends I know are flexible here. Palms to the sky, reach up, lengthen, and here's where I'm going to arc. Different variations. Historically, I would dump on my own joints. Some people you'll see come to the mat on the inside. I'm going to bring this block medium height inside my leg, flat palm. Reach up, answer the question, and now arc. Oh, that feels amazing. Look up at the ceiling. Option to take that hand onto the base of your skull. Open up the elbow to the ceiling. Option to take it to your lower back or around your side. And then come on up. We're going to move that block, same pose. Right hand comes to the floor. Left foot flex. My left hand can be on my hip or in the sky or one long line. Now it reminds me of half moon. Lengthen through that heel. Woo! Look at the ceiling. Undo child's pose. Other side. You haven't done that in a while. Thank you for your requests. Give me more. Right leg out, block on the inside. Let's see what this side feels like. Palms to the sky, reach up, lengthen. Right arm drops. You may need to lift it higher. Lengthen. First I'm going to go to diagonal. Then I'm going to go straight, and then I want to arc and look at the ceiling. Option to take that hand to the base of your skull and roll that shoulder back, opening the chest. Maybe all my desk friends should be doing this version. Woo! Option to take that hand, back of the hand to the sacrum or look at the ceiling. And come on up. Let's do the other side. Well, not the other side. Left hand down. Right foot flex. So I'm choosing straight. Straight arm in the sky, answering the question. Or over my ear, lengthen. Or hand to base of the skull, look up. Or behind you. I totally feel that in that quad and that glute. Undo, extended child's pose. And back up to seated. And guess what? Easiest way to stretch your quads, keep coming back to this meditative pose. You know, we often also talk about we should be comfortable doing tucked toe variation. There's a lot of pressure points or reflexology points on the foot, that theory that it stimulates pineal gland in different places in the brain, which are linked to meditation and calmness. Or untuck, which I like this, helping the mobility of my ankle. So, here's the card I just pulled out as my pile pulled out. What is today's reading? Life Loves You. Are these the ones that make me teary? Okay, which one? I nourish myself. I try this every day. Sometimes I fail or I falter. Sometimes it works out. And guess what? My body gives me feedback. Whether it's bloating or skin issues or joint mobility, joint discomfort, or a brain fog or good sleep or bad sleep, my body is an immediate feedback to what I put into it. I was telling my son yesterday, garbage in, garbage out. I heard that phrase years ago, and it applies to what I eat, drink, think, what I watch, who I hang out with. So it's energetically and actual scientifically. Today, decide today that you will eat only food that loves you. Does it lengthen your life or shorten your life? You know better than anyone what is best for you. And there is a fine balance between always being worried about the big picture and prolonging the length and quality of your health, and also having a few moments of pleasure. So I think having that balance is probably our adult lifehood struggle. A little bit, everything in moderation. Thank you so much for your effort. The good in me sees the good in you, even if we're not together. Namaste.